Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24.
What's up, everybody?
Woo! Energy on 100 right now. I love it.
It's only take 3 for this because the first time I tried to start taping this, I forgot which team the Celtics played. Which it was obviously the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And the Celtics beat them by 20 points. 125-105. And then Kayla's monitor went out. And so we're grinding. Season. Much like the Celtics, when in the first half they were like trading punches with this Cleveland team, and it felt like every time they had a good stretch, you look up and they're still somehow behind, and the Cavs would not stop making 3-pointers. But the Celtics ultimately find a way. A lot of positives to pluck from this one. But I'm going to let you go first.
Are we headlining it?
We are going right to the headlines.
You ready? Okay.
What is your headline tonight?
New me, Neemy. New me, Neemy. And I don't know if I had it as Neemy. Neemy, new me.
I think your New Year Neemy works because it's a new season. Yeah. So it's like technically like a new year of Celtics.
Yeah, New Year Neemy.
Yeah.
Switching up my head. Okay, I drafted it. Then we needed to edit it before.
We had to workshop it a little bit.
We had to edit it before the publish. I like that. New Year Neemy because he's still the same Neemy, but he is playing at a different level. Yeah. I mean, his double-doubles, but his defensive presence, I think, has just skyrocketed from last year to this year. I was not concerned, but curious to see how he was going to do and perform on the defensive side of the ball this year. And I feel like his body positioning is almost 9 out of 10 times in the right position. He's going up against guys like Jarrett Allen and some of these big dudes. You know, I thought they were going to go double big maybe to start. And
on a team that lacks size overall, right. Neemy has been thrust into this role where it's like, hey, we really need you to be great.
And against Mobley, too. Like, both double big Cavs, and this is no little weak Cavs team. Like, these guys were 3-1 going into this. Now they're 3-2. Shout out the Celtics. But how he's been establishing himself in the front court is just, it's really telling, and it's impressive. And I was listening. He had a post game with Cedric Maxwell and these guys, and I was listening in on it. And he said that Joe has just been on him and like making sure that he's been almost harder on him this year, but Neemy's accepting it.
Which is crazy because he's been hard on Neemy for
and he always will be.
Now.
Like, there's always that one player. There's always that one player. At least I dated back to college. I'm not going to make this about me, but I dated back to college where there's one player in your class that just the coach
is on her just a little bit more.
I was that player, and there's always one player. And you know, Scal said it best, and actually, you know, it was Eddie who said it best. Is if they don't talk to you, or if they don't talk about you, or confront you, or ride you, or be hard on you, then that's when you should be concerned. Right. So the fact that Neemy is accepting all the constructive criticism and then it's going out there and paying off. New Year Neemy, baby!
One of the most memorable things about, like, so when we do media day, I get to talk to everybody like you guys do, and it's crazy. Like,
Chris gets the VIP access.
But you get done the day, and it's hard to parse things because it's such a swarm of information. It's like what really jumps out, what stands out, and one of the moments that really lingered with me was talking to Neemy about being great at Eurobasket over the summer and the opportunity in front of him. And his whole thing was, this is all I ever wanted. Like when he was grinding away for the Sacramento Kings G League affiliate and then got cut and wasn't sure about his like basketball career, he couldn't have dreamed of a situation where he'd be starting for a championship level team like the Celtics. And so here it is. This summer happens. You lose Kristaps and Al and Luke and all the other talent.
True, yeah.
And now it's like, hey, Neemy, really need you. And maybe there was a little bit of a safety net in past years, but now kind of sink or swim with what Neemy does because he's the only dude with legit height out there. And we know the rebounding woes through the first 3 games, but it's no coincidence that as Neemy has started to get a little comfortable at the start of the season, as his rebounding has gone up, as his activity around the rim has gone up, it's no surprise that the Celtics have sort of found their groove.
I couldn't agree more. And I actually love that you told the backstory of him because I don't know how many people actually know that he was cut, that he had to go through those adverse times. And now he's a reliable front court guy. Yeah. And I want to... Or do we share your headline? I keep messing this up. Do we share your headlines yet? No.
We're gonna linger on Neemy for another minute or so, and then we're gonna kick it to my guy.
I find it interesting because, and you'll get to your headline in a sec, but like my headline doesn't even have to do with Jaylen Brown, who kind of should be the headline going into this, but we'll get to Jaylen. But
but like I actually think that,
quiet.
but like it almost feels selfish that we got almost an hour into our post game show before we like really
even talked about him.
And now we would, if we did my headline, which we'll get to, we would do the same thing. So it does feel prudent to like let's take a minute here. Jaylen Brown has been awesome to start this season, even in the losses. Now, he'd be the first one to say the game in New York on his birthday, terrible day. Mm-hmm. Besides the fact that he got a day named after him in Boston, it was a really rough night for him. We all know the social media stuff that came out of it, and he's had to have some fun with that, and he's approaching it in a great way.
Yeah, yes.
But he's had a 41-point game, a 30-point game. He's had the first night, the 15 potential assists, and trying to do everything he could in that first matchup with the Sixers. I think Jaylen has played the right way. He's let everything sort of come to him, and he's been necessarily aggressive when he needs to be. Like at the end of the first half of this game, where he was just like, you know what?
Icing on the cake.
I've had enough of this. Donovan Mitchell had his little stretch. The Cavs had their little stretch. And Jaylen just... Some people leave their imprint, like a small little imprint. Jaylen capped off that first half rally in the loudest possible way.
So you know what was really telling about that moment to me was I go back to the 76ers, the opener, and the end of the game situation. I know this was the end of the half, so it wasn't as dramatic or theatrical, but it was the end of the game situation against the 76ers. And yes, it is on Anthony Simons, who was taking the ball out of bounds, and it's harder. It's a much different, more complicated scenario when you're trying to get the ball to Jaylen. But I didn't feel like Jaylen demanded the ball at the end of the game the way he demanded it at the end of the half that he just did. And I think that was a really small learning curve for him, saying, hey, give me the ball. I'm going one-on-one. And here he is against Wade going one-on-one with 5 seconds left.
Through the legs,
go
spin move.
Rewatch that highlight, y'all, because that is such a hard move to pull off, but only the greatest of the greats do it. And that's usually Jason Tatum.
Right.
That's usually we see the ball, and Jaylen's used to kind of, he can do it, but everyone knows, get it to Tatum, get it to Tatum. Well, now it's get it to Jaylen. And so for him to ice that, I think just told a different story, especially from what we saw in their loss to the 76ers, because the ball wasn't in his hands. And now he's like, I'm going to get the ball. And the ball was being spread. There was Peyton Pritchard going on an assist journey tonight. And everyone's kind of just being a star within their role, and I think Jaylen's evolving into his.
I don't know what he said. We were all laughing because you can see he's pretty emphatic after he gets off the ground in that moment. I said I was hoping it was something like the Giannis the other night against the Knicks, where he's like, "This is my bleeping city," just kind of really leaning into
Big
like this is my bleeping team. Like everybody wrote us off after 3 games, but here they come. Yeah. It's really cool to see the way
Cavs.
Against the Cavs. Jaylen always goes up a level when Donovan Mitchell is on the other side. True. And when Donovan Mitchell was going to start this game, I think it reminded Jaylen like he needs to go up a little bit. It's really cool to see the way he took over that game for large stretches. And I'll preface my headline with this: so much of Jaylen taking on that scoring brunt, the 30 points, the 41 the other night, like it does take a little bit of a stress off the fact that Peyton's been ice cold on shooting. Derek White has struggled with his shot. The Celtics were lucky to get 8 guys in double figures tonight and get contributions from everybody. But you can get away with that because Jaylen is still sort of the hub of it all and being the center point and getting everybody involved. And he deserves credit for that. I almost feel guilty. Yet again, it feels like I'm hijacking the Celtics Talk podcast and turning it into the Lawnmower podcast. But I'm back on my Josh Minott BS because
you're allowed.
He was fantastic yet again, and in much the same way that I don't think it's a coincidence that since Neemy has elevated his play in the front court, that since the Celtics inserted Josh Minott into the starting lineup, it has shored up a lot of what ailed them on the glass because of his size and his energy and his athleticism. But he goes out there tonight. Not only does he put up a double-double, which on its own, the activity on the glass and to get the scoring burst and to knock down a couple corner threes and to do the why not, my not all over the place was awesome. But what I loved most was they told him from the start of the game, you are on Evan Mobley. And we spent the whole Drew and Scale segment of our pregame show was on Evan Mobley, the sort of player he can be in the NBA. Yeah. And what does Minott do? She goes out there. I'm waiting for the final tracking stats. The in-game numbers the NBA gave us was that Mobley had 2 points, both off free throws, 2 trips to the line, only made 2 of the 4, and he was 0 of 5 shooting against Minott, who, again, there was some he took some chances, he gambled off him a couple times, did his thing. But when you're talking about defending one of the best, like, offensive players, like two-way guys, really,
polished
in the NBA, and that guy's guarding you on the other end a lot, and he's the defensive player of the year, it speaks volumes about what Minott was able to do in this game. And the entire tenor of this season has shifted ever since. I don't want to take it from Jaylen, but the Lawnmower is a little bit of an energy shifter for this team.
Oh, yeah. It's true, though.
Right?
It's so true. Can I just ask you real quick, a spinoff of this?
Sure.
I don't know if I've seen you this hype about an individual player since Time Lord. So how are you? Where are we at?
Yeah.
Like, are you?
So it was funny because.
Is it getting there?
Well,
is Josh Minott making his case for you?
No. So it's perfectly fine. I think Rob would understand. Like, he'll always occupy the
Rob, if you're listening.
And I'm actually excited because I think Rob's getting closer to a return out in Portland. Now I'll have something to go home and watch. And I'll still daydream of the day that he returns to Boston. But I fell hard for Kristaps Porzingis.
He did.
He was a joy, not only on the court but off the court. You could talk to him about coffee and cars and life, and Minott. He won me over pretty quick. One, you could just see the makings. Like he was just this raw clay in Minnesota that you knew could be sculpted into something. Mm-hmm. And then he showed up at Summer League, and he had this like hilarious interview. He was cursing, and I was like, man, this guy he's fun. He gets it. We're going to play the post-game interview that he had with Abby. He continues. The other night he was like, I'm like trying to like savor the moment. I'm just enjoying life after he has this big night in his first start. And now tonight he just like thanks everybody in the organization because it's and that to me is endearing because he's so appreciative of it. So here, let's take a listen into the walk-off.
Josh, 2 straight wins. You guys got a standing ovation here inside TD Garden. This one started out fast. What was the process to winning?
I say we were just all, as a team, we were just locked in. We were all locked in on our coverages. We took pride in defending one-on-one. Offensively, the ball was flowing. Seeing like everybody just happy to be in their element offensively.
For you, your energy is boundless and pulling down some huge rebounds in the fourth quarter. What were you trying to do coming in and playing through crunch time?
Man, I'm just trying to do what people expect from me. Just energy, man. I just love this place so much, man. Like, this place just brings me so much happiness. My teammates, coaches, the staff, talking like from top to bottom. I mean, the whole organization, man, it's just a blessing to be here, man. I can't thank God enough.
And now the wins are coming too.
For a fact.
What did you guys find in that fourth quarter in New Orleans that has carried over here into tonight?
I say just keep playing the right way. Starts with that defense. Rebounding is definitely like a really big thing we're trying to key in on. I think we did a great job with that tonight. But I say it's like we've been playing so much good defense. We just got to finish with that rebound.
Gosh, thank you. Congratulations.
It would be so easy for a young player to be like, man, look at me out here doing my thing.
Yeah.
I'm showing the world, everyone, no one thought I could do this. And maybe he does that in moments, but you really get this, there's an appreciation for the opportunity he's been given here. The fact that the Celtics have, and look, Celtics have had to kind of, whether they wanted to or not, have had to lean into some new faces and hope that the scouting was right on them. But man, even I don't know how if they could have thought going in he would be this impactful this quickly. And it's all just energy and grit. Now, got to bottle it up. To do this over the course of even 80 games, whatever it is tough. But he has undeniably shifted the tenor of this season.
And his attitude, I think, speaks volumes. And I also think it marriages well with Joe Mazzulla and how he can coach this team. Because if you have a guy who is like, nah, I'm him, or I don't need or you don't gotta, if you have that attitude, that selfish attitude that says, I'm putting up numbers every night, or, every time I should be starting or whatever, that can clash. And instead, he's saying, no, I'm not. He's giving credit to the surrounding cast. He says, I'm still trying to see where my ceiling is at. And Joe can push those guys and work with those guys. And I just think when you go in with that humility and kind of that youthfulness, at least in terms of experience out there on the court, that's something that you can work with. Like it doesn't, you look at these other teams, you look at the Cavs here tonight, you see the Donovan Mitchells, you go to the Knicks and you see the Jalen Brunsons and the Karl Anthony Towns, and you can go all over. You can go to Houston, who we're going to see on Saturday, and we're going to talk about Kevin Durant. And the Celtics don't, you can say, yeah, they have Jaylen Brown, but there's no it was Jason Tatum, and he's not out there right now. So what is this team? What is the identity of this team? And I love that there are just these different role players who are making things work, even if on paper people will bet against them. And Josh Minott is a huge product of that.
It's crazy. If you had told me that, Game 5 of the year against the Cavaliers, probably the biggest one, first circle to date of the season, we'd be talking about Josh Minott and Neemy Keita. I'd be like, I wonder which way this season was leaning. But really, they've both been revelations and really helped kind of get this thing back on track. And now it's up to the Celtics to keep it going and make sure they maximize this.
He's got them ready for more selection, more savings, more ways to win.
During the Try for More savings event at Chrysler Jeep 24, shoot to save more, up to $1,500 more. Plus, during the Drive Into Fall event, lease a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $285 a month and get more for your trade with up to $2,400 over book value.
Family owned and operated. You'll save more at Chrysler Jeep 24.
New England gets more at Chrysler Jeep 24.
I have a whole bunch of lightning round stuff that I want to get to.
Oh, let's do it.
Sam Hauser had 4 3-pointers in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I know. Sam Hauser has a really for a bench game, 5 threes. He was just in that second quarter. Pretty much, you think about it, the Cavs were up. If Sam doesn't go off, I don't know if the Celtics necessarily hang in as much as they did, or at least motor ahead at the end of that quarter. Sam Hauser, on a team that's kind of struggling to consistently make 3-point shots, he's a revelation.
7 threes tonight?
Was that the total?
7 threes.
He did have 21 points.
4 for 4
Yeah.
in under 3 minutes in that first quarter. Yep. And you know what I loved about it? He came off the bench and did that. And I think when the argument is who's going to be the starters. I feel like this team doesn't really care about that. It's just who's going to be the impactful player. And Sam's coming off the bench. You have Josh Minott starting again, and he just lights it up. And the good news is about the Celtics and what they understood in that situation, Chris, was they fed the hot hooter. I need to go to bed. I'm not thinking about the chicken.
That was maybe the best.
Sorry.
Maybe that might have been. I wish that had been on our
air. Am I thinking of Hooters and chicken wings?
I don't even know.
Got me.
There's so many puns
they
I could
fed the hot Hooter.
I'm all in.
Hot shooter. Hooter with the S in front of it.
Have you been? Okay, now I get where you're going. I thought maybe you just had some chicken wings on the brain.
No, I do love their chicken wings. No, I have not been in quite a long time.
I can't.
But anyway, Sam Hauser, he was the hot shooter.
I don't know. From now on, I might when we get to this, I'm gonna be Kayla coined a new term in our podcast. we got a hot hooter out here. Let's go. We'll come up with I'll run through in orange spandex gym shorts at that point, and it'll be.
We got a hot hooter.
The sponsorship opportunity is out of control.
What time is it? 11. That's why it's past my bedtime.
Undeniably, Sam Hauser was a hot hooter tonight. On the flip side, Ugo got in, I believe in the second quarter, and. They immediately, or maybe it was first, they immediately tossed him on Donovan Mitchell, and within seconds, Donovan scored, and I was like, oh man, poor Ugo. He just he's a tough cover. Here he is, he's gone from Cade and Jalen Brunson, and now they're go get this guy, and that first half, Donovan was feeling it. When Donovan made the late half 3-pointer, and it was Ugo was on one side and Josh Minott was on the other, and I was like, man, he scored over both of our energy guys. How the hell did the Celtics bottle him up?
I think that's a great question. Because I thought poor Ugo too in that moment, because I'm like, dang, he's only getting X amount of minutes in this game, and now he has to go cover the number one guy, which also is a testament to his defensive ability. I think I have to go rewatch the tape, but I feel like it was a combination of Donovan kind of going down, like he went through his, like he was on he was on fire. And the last time, I mean, Drew and Scal were talking about it during the broadcast. They showed the numbers about Donovan Mitchell against the Celtics, how he just goes off every single time. But I think that
literally Michael Jordan against the Celtics.
I know, it's every time, and he did that last year in the second half. In their first matchup, and he had like 30 plus points or whatever in the second. It was insane. And I don't know. I mean, you talk to me about this, because I'm still trying to dissect, like, not only, I think the Cavs took their foot off the gas completely, but I also want to give credit to the Celtics defense and the
I think
pace.
the Celtics defense was good. I think Donovan just didn't have the same sort of burst. There were so many times where he would like get a rebound, get in transition. And Scal mentioned, like, he would just right to left hand dribble and just like finish at the basket, and the Celtics have no chance. He didn't quite have it tonight, and maybe some of that was Celtics better transition defense wise. If nothing else, they were clogging things up. Give credit to Neemy, give credit to the bigs for getting back. But yeah, it was. I mean, it's almost jarring when Donovan Mitchell doesn't have it going against the Celtics.
But you know what? It's also a credit to Joe and the timeout conversations that he's having. I feel like early on in this season, even when they started 0-3. And Abby's been doing such a great job sideline reporting and giving us intel on like what Joe is saying to his players. But they've been making these adjustments, and they've been out rebounded. We were talking about second chance points. I don't even know what it is on the stat sheet, but they balled out right now when it came to the second chance opportunities. And they went into this game dead last in second chance points. And then tonight, they won in that category. They out-rebounded. They did all the things that they haven't done, at least in the first 3 games. And so whatever Joe is saying within the timeouts or back at practice, they're taking it to heart and they're executing. And that's what's going to push you ahead in this Eastern Conference and entirely.
All right, 2 more.
Hey,
Luka Garza had this. I don't know how many Kevin McHale highlights you've watched. It's called the torture chamber, where you keep that pivot foot and you're just like, and then he hit a little baby hook. I was just like, wow. I went back to 1986 for a hot minute right there. Shout out Luka Garza. I don't know if we need to do anything more. Anthony Simons had one of the craziest bank shots I've ever seen.
That was nuts.
So, I mean, he was pretty much like pressed up against the scorer's table, falling out of bounds on a late clock situation, and he heaves it up and he banks it in. Did he call bank?
No, I don't even think. But you know what? Did you have that feeling that I felt like those are the crazier shots that you're like, it's going to go in? Like, it's one of those, like...
Well, so it's funny you say that. So the NBA has this new metric this year, and you know how much I like my nerdy
I know, bring
stats.
out the numbers.
So they assign a value for every shot on the court that, you know, from essentially 0 to 100, what the probability of it going in is. And I looked at that shot and I said, you know, it was probably 30 feet from the basket. I mean, he's made 30-footers in his career. It's just late clock, that defense right in front of him. I was surprised they gave it an 18.9% chance of going in.
Wow.
And, I mean, it was one of the lowest shots the Celtics had all night. Someone took like a heave at the end of one quarter. It was like an 8.9% chance. 18.9 still, banner 18 because Anthony Simons making that.
I like that parallel.
Was pretty great. And the last thing, Chris Boucher, DNP. I guess you can't play everybody. But
I thought he was going to start tonight. I thought they were going to go double big with Chris Boucher in there.
And, I mean, again, they found something with Minott. Boucher hasn't been as impactful as the preseason. And I think this is just another example that Joe can say, hey, look, on a given night, it might not be you. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if at some point in the next couple of games, Boucher's out there. You know, like, they're gonna figure this out.
They're going to need him for size a little bit. They're
going to need all these bigs. They got a back-to-back coming up. They've got to, you know, there's going to be one night you could maybe go hard with Kata and Minott and Garza, and then the next night you're probably going to need Boucher. But I just think I think there's like hard conversations going on behind the scenes where Joe is kind of saying like, hey, it's the same thing he probably told Minott when he got the DNP in New York or whatever that game was. You know, just stay ready. Everyone's going to get their chance.
Do you think that this is the starting lineup that he's going like?
I hope so.
More so set lineup.
I think again we're overreacting to 2 games, and things could change quickly. Like it's on Minott to continue to push the conversation of like his energy has to be out there.
Yeah.
You know, if you told me after the DNP early in the year that Minott was going to play, what was his total tonight? 32.55, which was second on the team behind Derek White.
Wow.
Probably wouldn't have seen that coming.
Same.
I was as bullish on the lawnmower as anybody. So yeah, like lawnmower season. I don't even know if did I ever do my actual headline? I think I just launched right into it.
You did
It's lawnmower season in Boston.
It's lawnmower season.
I know that it's getting colder outside. It's going to rain all weekend. Don't worry. Sharpen those blades.
There you go. There's still leaves out there.
It is still. You can mulch up those leaves because the lawnmower is in full gear.
I love it.
All right, we're out of here. Kayla's going to get to Philadelphia.
I'm going.
Are you ready? Not only do you get to go, but it's NBA Cup.
I know, and it's Philly. It's Philly. What is more like starking? Is it Philly or NBA Cup? I think it's Philly.
Philly and NBA Cup. Like they're going to be rowdy as
It's
it is,
gonna
and
be
now you're adding
loud.
NBA Cup, and look, Edgecombe was great the last time we saw
Tyrese
them.
Maxey,
Tyrese
holy
Maxey. Who
smokes.
knows if Joel Embiid will be out there? How do they bottle up Edgecombe?
Cannot have Edgecombe go off the way for the fact that he went off the way he did in his first NBA game of his career, and he had 30-plus points, and then Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I do think that their approach to this is going to be a lot. It has to be a lot better defensively, even just keying in on those two specifically, because you clearly saw in day one, once they get hot, oh boy, all gas, no brakes. Like they're not putting their foot off the gas. So I think they'll approach it differently in terms of the energy. I want to see Josh Minott, and maybe we do see Ugo bring that defensive,
I'm right there with you.
right? That defensive effort against those guards. But going little things, Joe talked about it in postgame. Like we got to win the quarters, and it starts with the details, the simple details, and it means like getting over screens and not getting like Derek White was screened a bunch of times, especially in that fourth quarter by Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid was kind of non-existent. I mean, he only had like 4 whatever points, but just going over screens on those guys and communicating switches, like that's going to make a big difference. But
yeah. Well, one thing I know for sure is they can't let VJ Edgecombe be a hot hooter. I need everybody to go subscribe, go check us out on the YouTube page.
Never going to live this down.
We'll be back on Friday night with some NBA Cup. No, you will never live that down. NBA Cup recap. Kayla will be checking in from Philly.
Yes.
We'll catch you next time
Bye.
on the Celtics Talk Podcast.